Most of you must have played Candy Crush at least once in your lifetime. A tile matching video game launched on Facebook on 12th of April 2012, but now has appearance on almost all known platforms with billions of downloads. King.com, which was owner of the title Candy Crush and many more successful titles like Bull Witch, Farm Heroes, Pet Rescue, etc., got acquired by Activision Blizzard and became this as its subsidiary. King.com initially started as midasplayer.com on August 2003, used to develop games for its web portal, which was rebranded to King.com in November 2005. Observing the significant drop in the number of players on their web portal because of increasing popularity of social media network games on Facebook from franchise like Zynga, King.com released its first game on Facebook on 2010. On October 2011, King.com released Bull Witch Saga on Facebook, which soon turned out to be one of the most successful games for the company. The next release of the game, Candy Crush Saga, quickly became the fastest growing and top grossing game for the franchise. The more than 10-fold increase in King's revenue between 2012 and 2013 is just because of one game, Candy Crush Saga. The success of these games helped King.com accumulate a revenue of $1.8 billion in the year 2013. Riding on this success, King.com did two major things in the year 2013, dropped .com from its name and considered filing for initial public offering. The IPO completed on 26th of March 2014 and initial share price was $22.50 per share, which fell to $19 per share on the first day closing of the IPO release. By June 2014, the valuation of King, which was the largest IPO for any social gaming company, fell to $2 billion from $7.08 billion at the time of IPO. But King was not able to continue to enjoy the fame and success it had generated through the titles like Bull Witch Saga and Candy Crush Saga, reaching its peak by generating revenue of $2.26 billion in the year 2014. The revenue dropped to $1.58 billion in the year 2016, that is by almost 30%. The savior came in the form of Activision Blizzard, who announced its plan to acquire King for $5.9 billion in November 2015. On 23 February 2016, Activision Blizzard closed its acquisition of King for a deal of $5.9 billion. Activision Blizzard, as a result, gets to operate the world's largest game network, reaching around 500 million users in 196 countries, who play the mobile game titles released by King approximately 1.4 billion times in a day. So what made King go from one of the most successful social media gaming franchise to getting acquired by Activision Blizzard? First reason was the change in revenue model. Prior to June 2013, King made revenue for the company through a combination of in-game advertising and microtransactions. These microtransactions allow players to use funds to purchase in-game booster items that could be used to help clear certain levels, additional lives, and immediate access to new levels instead of having to wait for few days. In June 2013, the company opted to remove all in-game advertising from their games, relying solely on microtransactions. This was the move that went against the King's growth. Advertising revenue had only made up 10% of company's earning in 2012 and only 1% in 2013. The company in its IPO file stated that they do not anticipate any further earnings from advertising revenue. While King relies heavily on in-game purchases, it is estimated that only few players of their games have spent money on their titles. In Q4 of 2014, King had 356 million monthly unique users, with only 8.3 million of them spending any significant amount of money. The 2.3% that pay spent on average $23.42 a month within the games. Second reason was the over-dependence on mega-hit titles like Candy Crush Saga and Bull Witch Saga. King tried to replicate the success of Candy Crush Saga and Bull Witch Saga with Candy Crush Soda Saga, Candy Crush Jelly Saga, Candy Crush Friends Saga, Bull Witch 2 Saga, and Bull Witch 3 Saga. All the successors had similar playing style as their predecessors. And by the way, the services for Bull Witch Saga, the original one, has been terminated with effect from 2nd of October 2020. Of the 11 titles released by King between 2011 to 2014, 3 were based upon the concept of Bull Witch Saga and two were based on the concept of Candy Crush Saga. King tried to reduce its dependence on Bullwitch Saga and Candy Crush Saga and released new titles like Pyramid Solitaire Saga, Pet Rescue Saga, Papa Bear Saga, Farm Hero Saga, Pepper Panic Saga, and Diamond Digger Saga in this period, but it didn't help them from eventual acquisition. In the year 2015, King launched 4 new titles, out of which 3 have been discontinued. Post-acquisition by Activision Blizzard, King released 10 new titles till 2021, out of which 8 titles are still running. These are all the games that have been released by King till date. Post-acquisition, the growth of year-on-year revenue by King, which leads the mobile game division, is also staggering. The revenue generated by King in the year 2016 was $1.59 billion, whereas as per financial reports for the year 2021, the revenue increased to $2.58 billion, a staggering growth of 62.6%. For the year 2019, 2020, and 2021, Candy Crush was one of the top 3 highest grossing titles for Activision Blizzard. So how was Activision Blizzard able to turn around the slumping profits of King? First thing Activision did was to use their creative expertise to release new titles which didn't depend on Bullwitch or Candy Crush. A total different gaming genres like Paradise Bay, which was a simulation game based on a place situated near a sea. It was basically a clone to Farmville, but the idea worked. Another title was Shuffle Cats, a rummy-based card game, and many more titles like Legends of Solgard, Knighthood, and Crash Bandicoot were all different from regular games earlier released by King. The variety made a lots of players to return to the franchise and also helped expand their player base. Second thing they did was to bring back the advertisements in the game. Advertisements and microtransactions were the main source of income for King. Removing advertisements made the company suffer a lot and revenue plummeted. Reintroduction of advertisements helped in revenue generation and increasing the same by 62.6% between the year 2016 to 2021. So in this episode, we have learned 2 valuable lessons. First, never disrupt a profitable function. In current case, it is using advertisements in the game. Second, always look for diversifying. Total dependence on few yet profitable ventures may one day backfire. So this is all about today's episode. See you in next video. Till then, take care.